perfect DVD coaster is 0 stars. So let's kick off highest grossing films of 2003 with the set jetter himself. What do we have?
Number 1, Finding Nemo. So obviously we're in the era where, I guess family films make the most money because kids go back to them again and again. But Finding Nemo still holds up for me. So it has a little bit of a sequelitis where I can't remember what the sequel is called, Finding Dory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something with Dory.
Good, but it still worked for me. Animation's fun, even though Ellen's in it, but still good.
I think Finding Dory should have had a title like, Saving Dory, or trying to be something more like artistic, Relentlessly Dory or something like that.
It does.
Desperately Seeking Dory.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you like Finding Nemo?
I do. Yeah, it still holds up for me. Still a cute movie. Number 2.
I see where you're talking about, Johnny Depp. Pirates of Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. Does that mean this is the first one?
This is the first one.
Okay, I need numbers with these. I can't.
I know. No, whenever we talk about they all run together, Pirates of the Caribbean, they all run together.
Yeah.
I think there's 5 of them now.
Probably.
And a reboot.
Yeah. So I liked this one at the time. I'll be honest, I've not revisited it since, but at the time I thought it was pretty good.
Samesies. I actually watched this quite a bit. This is I'm a fan of the films, but out of all I only really include the first 3. Then they kind of really went off track. But this is the best one out of all of them. It's the most fresh. It's not as bulky in terms of like effects all over the place and so many characters they're throwing in. So yeah, still holds up. Still recommend it.
Yeah. So 2 out of 2. We're doing good so far.
We're doing okay. That'll all change when we get to later on. And then
The Matrix Reloaded, which this and the third one, I didn't even get it. I'm saying no to this. It wasn't working for me at the time.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just rewatched it too recently, hoping something would change, or it would. No, just doesn't do it. You just can't beat the original.
No. And then we got what's coming up, Matrix Revolutions. So,
did you watch that? The trailer?
I did. I feel like the trailer also had the whole movie. I'm like, all right.
It did. They do what they do with the trailer with a lot of big franchises. When they release movies later, they rely on like fandom to really carry it. So they put a lot of cues in the trailer that you're like, oh, I like that in the original, like little things. I felt.
I remember that. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna give it at least kudos that it's called Matrix Revolutions rather than The Matrix.
I agree.
I thought for sure that would just be that, or it'd just be Matrix.
Matrix, right? That would make sense.
But or MATRX with a big X or something stupid like that.
What kind of confusion does that ever cause? If there were still video stores open, or there were on a big scale, yeah, I'd like to. Do you guys have Halloween in stock? What's it called? Halloween. Well, the computers and they start like malfunctioning because they can't deal with it.
The zombie version. Which Blu-ray version do you want? Because
which the zombie version would create chaos. Yeah, but Matrix Reloaded does not hold up.
Number 4. I can't believe these kind of came out year after year. So Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. So Lord of the Rings 3.
And you put in parentheses with over an hour of just endings. I'm laughing at what you put. I wouldn't know because I haven't seen it.
I think I don't think if I saw it in the theater, I can't remember it, but I remember, I don't think I did because I would have left. But I just remember, I think I had it on the background, and the movie is, the movie has that, you have the climax, whatever, and then epilogue. Right. I swear to God, this had like an hour of epilogue of people smiling at each other and stuff like that. At least Star Wars, even the Phantom Menace had a good enough to like 30 seconds of celebration, then whoosh, go to the credits. That's all we need. Move on, Peter.
Did Peter Jackson film the Lord of the Rings like all at one time or something?
I think consecutively, as far as I remember. I mean, obviously he had to because they came out. Yeah.
But they really bumped these epics out for like 3 years.
Well, it's kind of like all you need is a big green screen, and yeah,
That's
you can
true.
do
I
whatever
make
you
it
want.
sound like, how did they get all those hobbits in one place? Thousands of extras. It's like, nah, they needed 30 editors and computers
Yeah,
working,
it was
18-hour
like
days.
hundreds of people in China probably working on this, or thousands, but yeah.
Right.
But so no to the Lord of the Rings, and I know there's even longer versions of it. So
Oh gosh. All
good for
right.
them.
I'll probably never watch it. I'm going to yield to you. Number 5 is Bruce Almighty. Is this like Jim Carrey's last wacky kind of movie before he started doing like other things?
I can't remember. I mean, I remember seeing it, and this movie is not made for me, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Um, and then, but no, obviously I don't own it. I will not watch this in a hotel room.
No.
No.
It's still kind of funny. I watched it recently. It was people were split on this, and I think the timing was a little weird when this came out. Um, it wasn't the height of Jim Carrey's like Liar Liar, Dumb and Dumber kind of thing, and this was kind of one of those movies because it was Tom Shadyac, the same guy that did Ace Ventura.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like it doesn't age as well, but there are still some scenes in there that are pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
it's good. It's a good YouTube watching.
yeah. 3-minute clip. That's all you need.
That really,
Yeah.
truly, you can boil it down. What do we have for number 6?
X2, X-Men United. So half a star for using at least 2 in it, so I know which one it is. But and you know what? I was never an X-Men person in comic book or movie or otherwise, so I always like I had no idea what was going on. Jean always had a headache and things exploded, and I'm like, that's fine. So no, I did see this in the theater because I had friends really into it, and I just kind of played along. And it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's not that good.
Yeah.
It doesn't age very well at all. But I do agree with the X2. Thanks for giving us a clue what it is because there's so many of them. I mean,
Yeah.
unless
And
you're really
then
a fan, you don't know what you're watching.
no.
All right, number 7. This is a treat, I think.
I think this is number 7 is Elf.
Elf. This is I think it's an underrated movie, and Robert has something very special
Yeah.
here.
Actually, this
Uh,
is my sister's, but this is an actual Buddy the Elf used in the
oh,
film. At the end, remember they're reading.
yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, and these are kind of the Buddy the Elf. So it's like really fragile. Obviously, it's not made to be a permanent doll and stuff like that. But yeah, it even has a fake tag and stuff like that on it.
That is so cool. That's official.
Yeah,
From where it was sitting behind you,
is it kind
it
of
didn't
creepy?
look like Buddy the Elf. I just saw it looked like an Annabelle thing going on.
You know,
So
he
that's what
kind of
was
looks like
creeping
Gene
out.
Wilder to me.
He does. He does.
Gene
He's Gene
Wilder,
Wilder.
the elf. Yeah. So this
It's
is
your
it's
imagination,
it is usually
Buddy
stored
Elf
away.
on the
Actually,
shelf.
I'm gonna put him over here because he's
He is
fragile.
Robert's sweet
So
creation.
that's my
I like Buddy
sister's.
Elf.
It's one of her favorite movies. So
Oh, it is a great movie,
yeah,
and it's classic actually. Maybe Will Ferrell's
it's a
best.
little sappy for me, but it's
Yeah.
it's watchable at least at Christmas time.
Agreed. Yeah, it is certainly you gotta respect it during the holidays. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is my favorite movie. I've seen it streaming in like 5 places recently,
Yeah,
and I'm like, you just can't do it, people. You gotta respect it. It's Thanksgiving Eve
you
only.
can't just be watching it for Labor Day. Come on,
No, you can't do that. So does that still hold up for you, Elf?
it does.
Okay. What do we have for number 8?
Number 8, I just watched this week, and we
Ooh,
are talking about Chicago, the musical, the movie.
Catherine Zeta-Jones' sauciest role.
And you know, and I'm not a Renee Zellweger fan. I'm not even really a Catherine Zeta-Jones fan or Richard Gere, but they
Hmm.
all bring it in this movie, and
They
I
do.
still love it.
I do too. Not a fan of either any of those actors you just said. I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm just
Yeah,
not like they don't do it for me. But they are great in this movie.
yeah. And I would not have cast any of the, you know, like if I was like, oh, what's my dream cat? I'm like, none of their names would have came up.
No.
But and I do know, I think Charlize Theron was really pushing forward. I think she was cast at one point in the Renee
Hmm.
Zellweger role, which now I think that would have been a big mistake.
I think so.
So, but yeah, so still snappy, and it's one of those movies like you'll watch, and for like 2 days you're like singing the song still.
Yeah, you're playing them in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no burlesque, but it's a good film.
There's no comment on that.
There's no. Chicago was huge when it came out too. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like it got the props it deserved.
Here's the thing. I like that it did a musical right because obviously it had kind of real world filming. You know, they have scenes, and most of the singing scenes, which in Greece, you know, they keep going, and it's kind of, you know, that's kind of weird in real world if people are kind of singing in their high school cafeteria. I like that they switched to a stage with proscenium and stuff like that for all the musical numbers, saying this is what it looked like on Broadway, and I kind of like that back and forth. So I thought that worked for the movie.
I agree with you. Yeah, it does, and they did a good job with it. Definitely holds up.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, which has one of the coolest endings. By the way, we're going to bring up for the viewers, we're going to bring up a cool set list that Robert has covered on his website, set-jetter.com. The Terminator Rise of 3, the nuclear ending, spoiler alert, where the nukes are going off. That's like Nebraska, right?
You give the ending and you say, and spoilers for what you just heard.
Right. By the way, he dies and the machines take over and nuclear winter happens. Spoiler alert.
So that's one of those endings where I think it made the movie, or it gave it an extra star.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's haunting, I should say.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this makes sense to me, and because one, Eddie Furlong not coming back was probably a good thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure
in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, unless you want a sleepy guy beating Monica Keena in the face after snorting. I don't think so.
Looked like he was already living off the grid. But Nick
He looked
Stahl
tired.
made it better. So yeah. So that background that you see that he's wearing, right? I have all that wardrobe.
Ooh,
Right
we got a
here.
treat.
Yeah.
Robert, what is that? You got to take it out.
Let me see. This is Nick Stahl's wardrobe from that scene.
This is Nick Stahl's wardrobe in Terminator 3.
So we got his.
I got to get a shot of this.
Well, let me see. We got his dirty work shirt.
Can you put that back out one more time?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And his dirty undershirt.
Hold on, let me get a shot of that. That is really a dirty undershirt.
Yeah. Let's see.
By the way, what is on your shirt right now that you're wearing? It gets cut off.
We can look at that later.
Ooh.
His jeans, his belt, his gloves.
Oh my gosh, you really went to town in that trailer.
You can see, this is the wardrobe tag, so it kind
John
of lists
Connor.
everything that in the movie. This is what he's supposed to be wearing in this scene. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So.
That is really cool,
some
actually.
John Connor stuff we got here.
I close my eyes and pretend that he's
so if
John
there's
Connor.
A Terminator 3 screening, that's what I will be wearing. Well, I have a feeling I won't be able to fit in Nick Stahl's jeans, but we'll see.
Because they're too large. Robert isn't.
That's exactly right.
We're going to take, but those are really cool that you have those. Let's look at some of the shots. This is at set-jetter.com. If you've been living on a desolate island somewhere and you're not familiar, Robert is the lead set jetter in the world. There are no sites better than his in terms of quality and reach. That's the truth. Haven't seen one yet. Tell us about this.
So downtown, and he's actually working on an actual site at the time. So obviously there's a building where he is standing right now, but you can kind of get the gist of what was there. And of course, the building across the street has already been replaced in true LA form. But
of course,
get a sense of geography. And there's the outfit as it shows in the movie.
So cool you have these.
All the fun. Oh, his socks.
Have you ever worn any of these clothes for practical use, just to say like this is from this movie?
She was gonna wear a piece of wardrobe. We'll come to it later. That for this podcast, say not to.
Okay.
But yeah, so through the years, kind of did different locations. Obviously, Terminators love Los Angeles, and so
sure do
show up. So just random kind of locations.
Was Spring Street Bridge the one in the one episode? I know it's in like a lot of things, but was it the one in episode of Southland where they're trying to stop the jumper?
I don't remember. I remember Southland was one of my favorite series, but I don't remember that particular episode. But it's
Okay.
possible.
Oh yeah, the strip club,
Yeah,
Santa Clarita.
way up there.
I looked at this page not too long ago. You got some great shots in this one.
Thank you. I think that's still there. I know a couple things were destroyed in fires a couple years ago, but I
Uh,
think this did survive. I'm not sure.
we are the fire state.
You are there.
Come have a quake or choke on some smoke. It's here.
Yeah, you guys just had a quake too.
Mm-hmm.
Down in, was it Torrance, I think, or somewhere?
Yeah, around Carson area. There was 2 this week. Fortunately, not that crazy, but
Yeah.
Still, this is at East First Street in L.A.
Yeah.
Terminators do love shitty places in L.A. They really do.
Where should we go? Downtown LA is the place for us.
Right?
Yeah.
No, not feeling it. A Santa Clarita strip bar on its way, 40 miles east.
So the veterinarian clinic was a facade that they built on the kind of corner, not too far from the ET house, from what I remember in that area.
Oh,
so
cool.
There's a couple spaces, buildings behind where you can still recognize.
You get the landscape right. You know
Yep.
where you are.
Yep.
Broadway and 30th in Los Agneles.
Thank you. See, I know you'd call me out on my.
No, I like it. I like it because it shows that you're like rushing. You're trying to
Yeah,
get it
I
up
am.
for a
It's
deadline,
usually 11:59. I'm like, I gotta get this done.
which I like that you're committed. But these are great shots. This 6th Street Bridge is no longer here.
It is no longer. So it was last time I was in LA. I was driving by. I saw they're finally getting a little bit more progress done. So I'll miss it, of course, because the 6th Street Bridge shows up in everything.
I'm sorry.
And the new bridge just won't be the same.
Yeah, you said progress is getting done. That'll change though. Just wait. Progress in LA, something will hold that up. Some group or study or something.
Some recall.
It'll be 10 years before you're driving on that. Right. Mateo Street and South Santa Fe Ave. What scene is this in the movie? Oh, this is the
Yeah, so that's kind of right by the Madonna borderline scenes where she's playing with dancing with kids. For Madonna fans will remember that area.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Madonna, not to derail, but we mentioned her performance, her entrance at the MTV VMA last week.
Yeah, did we talk about it? I don't know.
Not on the show. No,
Not on the
it
show.
was very interesting.
It's
motherfuckers. They said I wasn't gonna be around.
She was doing her best. She usually wears all of her. I do accuse her because I'm like, oh, she's wearing all of her favorite things at once again.
She wasn't leaving a lot to the imagination on the Instagram photos that she posted. There was a lot of cheeks hanging out and stuff, and breastises.
She never does. Yeah, so just like
and
all
how old is she?
61, I think. I can't remember.
You show me another 61-year-old that can do that, I will show you a liar, sir.
She has the confidence.
And the best plastic surgery in Beverly Hills.
I don't know if I say best, but all right. So obviously,
doesn't her face look great though?
Well, it's puff. Yeah, it's filled up. Yeah,
it looked like a filter.
Yeah,
like a Snapchat filter.
Like
they make you look like
living Instagram filter.
Right, she's a natural Instagram filter.
She's found
amazing.
a way. But a lot of these things, yeah, I even drove to Acton, California for this.
Oh my gosh, what a completist!
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I was a complete completist, but I tried to sneak some indoor shots, obviously here, hence the blurriness. But
was this Schwarzenegger's last film before he became governor? Because he was governor in 2003, I thought.
It must have been. I can't remember the dates of when he was governor.
Do you remember when he was in office as governor and he made that cameo in The Expendables?
No.
Well, he did, and good for you for not seeing it. You weren't missing anything. But I remember in the theater you heard this like whispered eruption of who's running the state if he's like doing movies, because this like the state was at the height of like the crash and it was just people are like what the fuck is he doing on screen, and I'm like hey it's to my wife,
give him a break.
Give him a break.
Half a day. That's
like, what did you do it? Yeah, fuck it.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, these are great shots though. I know where this is. This was in something else too.
Yeah, it has been in a lot of things. I think it's because it's a nice big open cemetery, and it's kind of nice kind of mausoleum. Of course, the inside of the mausoleum was fake. But yeah.
Yeah. But great shots. We got some good ones in here. What do we got next, sir? For number 10.
10 is Bad Boys 2.
Oh, I felt like we just did this last episode.
We did we? Maybe.
No, we did Rush Hour 2.
Okay, that's right. So it's all. I don't think I even saw this. So
No,
that
nor I.
Yeah.
All of those like late 90s buddy cop things like Rush Hour and Bad, they all run together for me.
And I didn't see the newest one either. Was that just called Bad Boys, or I don't know?
It was called Paycheck 3. We need
Okay.
house money.
Somebody needed some money.
Somebody needs some money.
Yeah.
But that was the top 10 of Do They Still Hold Up? I agree it was a better list. There's still some weak spots, but out of all these 10, Robert, what would your number one go-to be?
Probably Chicago.
Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good one.
What about you?
I would go to Chicago or Curse of the Black Pearl.
Gotcha.
Musicals for me, I have to really be in the mood for a musical, and I usually am in the mood for a musical. I love musicals, but if it's just a straight flick, I'd probably go for Black Pearl.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that was top 10.